Welcome back, viewers. You're watching WION World is One. I'm Fibn. Let's start with the headlines. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump picks South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem to serve as the next Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, reports CNN. The Israeli army tells residents of several neighborhoods in Beirut's southern suburbs to leave immediately, warning that it would strike Hezbollah targets there. Ukraine claims that the toll from a Russian strike on the hometown of President Zelensky has risen to 4, identifies the dead as a mother and her 3 children, including a newborn. Russian Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu meets Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Beijing, describes the ties between Moscow and Beijing as an example of cooperation. Bitcoin's record-breaking rally took the token past $89,000 and lifted the overall value of the crypto market above its pandemic-era peak. Traders are betting on a boom under President-elect Donald Trump. Michael Waltz is expected to be the next national security advisor to Donald Trump. Well, reports are saying that President-elect Donald Trump has Waltz to take over the crucial role. Waltz, who represents Florida's 6th congressional district, is a decorated combat veteran. After 4 years in the Army, he joined the Florida Army National Guard. He has done multiple combat tours and has been awarded 4 Bronze Stars. Waltz worked in the Pentagon as a policy advisor when Donald Rumsfeld and Robert Gates were Secretaries of Defense. In 2018, he became the first Green Beret elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Waltz is considered a China hawk, calling for United States to deal with Beijing aggressively. He has criticized Chinese activity in the Asia-Pacific, a member of the Republicans' China Task Force. And Waltz has argued that the U.S. military is not as prepared as it needs to be if there is conflict in the Indo-Pacific region. Waltz is also the co-chair of the India Caucus. He has advocated for advancing defense and security cooperation with India, calling it the most important partnership for the U.S. in the 21st century. He is a staunch proponent of better ties with India to counter China. Last year, during a visit to India, he spoke to WION on a range of issues, including the Chinese aggression.
What's your assessment of an increasingly aggressive China?
Well, unfortunately, it's not the Chinese people. They're the victims of a very aggressive, authoritarian Chinese Communist Party. It's Taiwan, South China Sea, the Philippines, India, Tibet, the United States, Australia. This really is a destabilizing force across the Indo-Pacific, and I think like-minded democracies working in partnership together, whether that's co-production of defense, working together in space, IT, technology, across the board will deter that type of aggression and make it clear to the Chinese Communist Party that they can't get away with it.
Waltz has called for economic restriction against Russia to end the Ukraine war. He has also praised Trump for pushing NATO allies to spend more on defense, but unlike the president-elect, he has not suggested the US to pull out of the alliance altogether. Waltz is a critic of the UK's Chagos Islands deal with Mauritius. Back in 2022, he had written to the US Defense Secretary and Secretary of State to oppose the plans. He said the deal would endanger the Diego Garcia Air Base on the islands, which he compared to the loss of the Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan after the US chaotic, hasty exit in August of 2021. As the NSA, Waltz will play a key role in the incoming administration as it faces a raft of foreign policy challenges, wars in Ukraine and West Asia. The role does not require Senate confirmation. The Israeli army tells residents of several neighborhoods in Beirut's southern suburbs to leave immediately, warning that it would strike Hezbollah targets there. Ukraine claims that the toll from a Russian strike on the hometown of President Zelensky has risen to 4, identifies the dead as a mother and her 3 children, including a newborn. Russian Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu meets Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Beijing, describes the ties between Moscow and Beijing as an example of cooperation. Bitcoin's record-breaking rally took the token past $89,000 and lifted the overall value of the crypto market above its pandemic-era peak. Traders are betting on a boom under President-elect Donald Trump. Michael Waltz is expected to be